Hey folks, I have been trying to record this video on an absolutely fascinating topic all week. So it's about the history of Yola, a lost language in Ireland, but it's been a really hectic week and I haven't had a chance to sit down in front of a camera, but I was passing through Collins Barracks here in Dublin and I was thinking where better to record a video on history than this amazing complex. Today it's home to the National Museum of Ireland, but up until 1922 it was known as the Royal Barracks. It was built back around the start of the 18th century, so around the year 1700. But had you been in Dublin back then, and if you had ventured south to County Wexford and went to a place called Forth and Bargy, you would have heard a language that you would not understand. It wasn't Irish, and it certainly wasn't the English that you would understand. I'm going to explain that a bit more. You're going to hear the language that it might have sounded a bit like, and you'll see how different this language was. It was basically the remnants of an old medieval language that had survived in this place, Forth and Bargy, long after it had died out elsewhere. Now you're going to hear from a man called Sasha Sanchikuni, who's an expert on the history of Yola. And look, I'm going to let Sasha explain what exactly the language was.
So Yola was a variant of Middle English, which just happened to survive in a small area of Ireland.
Now you might think, look, it's Middle English, how different can it be? So I asked Sasha if someone from Dublin around the year, like say 1700, 1750, had ventured down to Forth and Bargy, could they have understood the language? And this is what he said.
Would certainly have had difficulty understanding a Yola speaker. The Dublin speaker might have picked out some words here and there, but would have had difficulty understanding it, yes.
Now, we don't have any recordings of Yola, but I was able to track down this recording of Middle English. It's from MIT, the university in the US, and you're going to hear someone reading out Middle English. And this just gives you a sense of how different it might have been. It's much more different than you're imagining. I would challenge you to pick out a single word that this person says in this recording.
Sithen the sage and the Assot was saced at Troy, the Borg Britned and Brent to Brundus and Oscus. The tulk that the Thomas of Trazen there wrought was treated for his treachery.
So one of the most intriguing things about Yola is how it died out. And this is where a pretty notorious figure, a man called Oliver Cromwell, enters our story. And Sasha is going to explain how Cromwell played a part in the decline of Yola. He's notorious for his invasion of Ireland in 1649, and that would be one of the things that would trigger a decline of Yola, as Sasha now explains.
In 1649, of course, Oliver Cromwell besieged and sacked the town of Wexford, and the subsequent plantations saw a large number of outside settlers being introduced to Forth and Bargy.
Now, it's very possible that beneath this video, YouTube will recommend a video that claims to have someone speaking Yola on it. But I asked Sasha, when did the language kind of cease to exist? When did people stop speaking it? And as he's going to explain now, it's much longer than people think, and certainly there isn't anyone that was ever recorded speaking the language, and it certainly isn't on YouTube. But here Sasha explains when did people stopped speaking the language in Forth and Bargy.
It's very probable that Yola died out sometime in the mid-18th century, but that it clung on longer in certain areas within certain families or in the speech of individuals for another century or so.
Now, if you want to hear a much longer conversation between myself and Sasha about the history of Yola, where we tease apart the complexity of the language, a lot of the stereotypes, and we dispel myths about it, you can find that at the link below. I have a full podcast about it there. I want to thank Sasha for his time, and if you enjoyed this, please do subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I'll be back soon with more videos on Irish history.